Hello dear learners of IGNOU St. James Binaguri. This is your academic counselor for English, Mr. Shubhamoy Banerjee, and today let us once again take up under the BDP course, let us take up BEG 106 once again, and let us particularly focus our class today towards Block 8 Indian English Poets, and we will be doing Unit 37. Now here in Indian English Poets we basically have Nissim Ezekiel and Kamla Das. So today let us take up Nissim Ezekiel and we'll try to do one particular poem written by this famous Indian poet. The name of this poem is Ganga. I will be giving you line by line explanation of this poem. So please watch this video till the end so that you can understand the poem and also its theme and subject matter. So dear IGNOU learners, we are taking up Indian English Poets under Unit 37 of Block 8 in your BEGE 106 of Bachelor's Degree Program or BDP program. And if you like this video, then please give your like and share it and subscribe to my channel. This is your academic counselor for English, Shubhamoy Banerjee, bringing you Nissim Ezekiel's poem Ganga. So before we begin with the poem, let us have a look once again to understand what we are doing. We are doing BEG 106, Understanding Poetry, Block 8, Indian English Poets. There are total 8 blocks in BEG 106. And here we are taking up block number 8 and we are going to do Unit 37, and that's what is rounded up here with red so that you can understand what exactly we are doing. So in your course material, when you look for it, you can go to block 8 and look into Unit 37. So in Unit 37 we have Nissim Ezekiel and Kamla Das, two very famous Indian poets. Of these two, we are going to take up Nissim Ezekiel today, and we have a total of 2 poems of Nissim Ezekiel in your syllabus. First one is Ganga, the second one is a poem of dedication, and then from Kamla Das we have an introduction published in 1965, and then the dance of the Enoch 1965, and a hot noon in Malabar. So we are not taking up Kamla Das as of now. Let's see who Nissim Ezekiel was. He was born on 16 December 1924 and died on 9 January 2004. On your screen is the photograph of father of modern Indian English poetry, Nissim Ezekiel. So have a look at him, and we are going to read one of his poems which is in your syllabus. So let's see what we can learn about Nissim Ezekiel before we begin with his poem. Nissim Ezekiel belongs to a Beni Israel family which generations ago had migrated and settled down in Bombay in India. Both of his parents were teachers. His father Moses Ezekiel was a professor of botany at Wilson College, Bombay, and his mother principal of a school. So you can see that both the parents were educationists, and Nissim Ezekiel was therefore a man of great learning. So you can read the details from your course material. The rest of the things are provided. You can go through. Now we come to the poem Ganga, and there is an introduction first to this poem. As you can see on your screen, Ganga, the poem you are going to read about, is a simple but pathetic story of a maid servant in every Indian household. So we all have domestic helps, or we have servants. Now this is the name of a maid servant, and the poem assumes significance also because it raises centuries old problem of master servant relationship. So this has been a problem in the Indian society, that we always look down upon our servants. They are treated as an outcast, and they are always given secondary treatment by us. So that has been portrayed here by Nissim Ezekiel. So through this poem, the poet tries to sensitize his readers towards this grave social problem. Through ironical mode of treatment, the poet brings forward the hypocrisy and indifference of the masters towards their servants. The poem shows how the trivial offerings like stale chapati and tea by the masters to their servants is considered by them a mark of generosity. If we give them a stale chapati left over from the previous night's dinner and a cup of tea which is also probably warmed up again, not freshly made, we think that we have done a big deal for them. So this is our way of treating our servants. Any leftover, keep it, give it to the servant the next day. When the servant comes to wash your utensils and sweep your floor, at the end, after finishing his or her work, give her the food, and the food thus will not be wasted. So this is the tendency of Indian masters. So this is what we observe in almost every family. Though simple in theme, the poem is remarkable for its techniques. In the poem, the poet very beautifully turns the words into metaphor, images, and symbols as the situation demands. The poem is satirical in tone. This is very important. It is a satire or a criticism through literature. Satire means a criticism being made of a certain social system or norm by means of poetry or by means of prose. So that is called satire, and there is no rhyme scheme as such maintained in this poem. This is a modern poem. Now let's read the text of the poem. The text: we pride ourselves. On your screen we have the text of the poem. Please follow. We pride ourselves on generosity to servants. Very simple to understand. We take pride. We feel very proud of ourselves that we have been generous to our servants. The woman who washes up suspected of prostitution is not dismissed. So the woman who comes to our house to wash up everything, the utensils and our clothes, and then sweeping, brooming, and wiping the floor, we have our tendency of thinking many things about such people. We think of them as prostitutes also. We can even go to the extent of thinking that they must be involved in prostitution. So this is our mentality. We are like that. She always gets a cup of tea preserved for her from the previous evening. Imagine, previous evening somebody did not have tea, the tea was made, so the cup is covered and kept so that next morning when the servant comes to work, just warm it up and give it to her so that the tea is not wasted. This is our mentality. And a chapati. What is a chapati? We all know. In Hindi, it's called chapati. It's only nothing but rolled out bread, handmade bread, which we make in every household, every Indian household. It is a common food item. So a stale chapati. Why a stale chapati? Because it was probably made the previous night or previous evening, and then it was the leftover, and next day when the servant comes with the cup of tea, we also give her the same kind of leftover of the previous night, a chapati, but in good condition. Imagine, this is the sarcasm that the poet makes here, that we give and then we think, okay, it was all right, it was in good condition, so we gave it to her and she ate it. But when it comes to eating it ourselves, well, we will not do that because it's stale, it's of the previous night. But when giving to the servant, no problem, it's okay, it's all right, it's fine, it's in good condition. This is our mentality. Once a year, an old sari. What else do we give to our servant? Once in a year, you work in the house, in somebody's house for a whole year, and then once in a year you get an old sari and a blouse, for which we could easily exchange a plate or a cup and saucer. You see, in India we have the system of giving old clothes and keeping utensils. So when we give the sari, that to an old sari which is no longer worn by us, we still feel inside that if I didn't have to give this sari, I could have kept a cup and a saucer from the common bartanwala who comes to the doorstep, and I could have exchanged this old sari for a cup and a saucer. Saucer is a plate. Besides, she borrows small coins for pan or a sweet for her child, and at times this poor woman who is the servant asks for a coin or two, give me 1 or 2 rupees, I need to buy something for my child, or maybe I want to have a pan. So once in a while we give her 1 rupee or 2 rupees or 3 rupees, and we think we have done a big favor. This is our mentality. She brings a smell with her and leaves it behind her. This woman, when she comes to our house to work, she smells because she cannot afford to buy soap for herself, so she probably just takes bath with plain ordinary water. That too maybe in the from the available from the tap at the corner of the street. She cannot afford to have the luxury of buying a soap and then washing and cleansing herself. So when she comes, we complain that she smells, and when she goes away, she leaves it behind her. The smell remains even after she is gone. That is our mentality. We feel that she was here, that's why that smell, that awful smell, is coming still. But we are used to it, but we are accustomed to it. We complain of the smell, but we don't even bother about giving her a soap. How much does a soap cost? But we won't do that. That will be too much to give to a servant. This is our mentality. So we are used to it. These people never learn. That's what we say behind their back. These people, they will never learn. Come on. We don't even think whether they can afford it or not, but we complain that these people will never learn. So this is the poem, a very sarcastic poem, full of sarcasm, and I hope I have been able to make you understand this poem. If it is of any use to you while you are preparing for your exam, I'll be very happy. So please like, share, subscribe this video. Thank you very much.